Welcome to another GMAT Explanation. We're continuing with the online whiteboard just to give you a sense for how to use this thing for your online GMAT. Today we're looking at a word problem from the GMAT official guide. It's an average rate question, and we're going to look at two ways to solve it. The first way, I would draw a line like this. And we're going to go ahead and put our information on this line. Our X, our Y, and then our combined XY mixture. So X is 40% ryegrass and Y is 25. You can safely ignore the bluegrass and the fescue because actually we have no way of comparing them because X has bluegrass but Y doesn't, or at least they don't tell us about it. And Y has fescue, but we don't know anything about fescue in X, and we also don't know about fescue or bluegrass in the combined mixture. So this is the rare GMAT question that has information that we're actually not going to use at all. So our combined mixture is 30, and I'm putting it closer to 25 because it is closer to 25. There's a difference of 5 there, a difference of 10 over here. And actually just knowing that the combined mixture is closer to Y means you have more of Y than you have of X. So you could actually eliminate a bunch of choices here based on that alone. You know that X has to be less than 50%. So our options are only A, B, and C. And then the question is it really extreme? Is X only 10%? And I think you could look at these and say, not really, because it's like 10 versus 5. And then the question is it's between B and C? Is it like just 10% off, or is it at a third? I think you could probably rough it out and pick B, but you could very easily get it down to two choices just based on the idea that the weighted average is closer to Y. Okay, so the way to actually solve this with certainty is to look at these differences. You add them together, and that forms your denominator. And then take each difference and put it in there as a numerator. And that'll tell you the balance. This will tell you that it's 1/3 mixture X and 2/3 mixture Y. Notice that these things are kind of reversed, that the difference that's like from these guys actually is the numerator that relates to X, this, and vice versa, that the 10, which is related to like the X difference, is actually the numerator that relates to Y. So X is 1/3 of the mixture, so we're looking at B. And this balance beam method is great. It's super quick. And you can use it on really any average rate question, but it works best when you have these pieces of information. When you know like the amount of one, the amount of the other, and then the balance of the combined mixture. When you have those three, this is 100% the way to go. It's super quick. Here's the second way of doing this question. Weighted average questions are the same as average rate questions. So you can use the rate tees. And these are a really great way of organizing average rate questions and are also really good for weighted average questions. And we can just label these with our mixtures X and Y, and the total is the sum of those guys. And then for X, let's just call the amount of X, X, and we could do the same for Y. And these two boxes always sum to this total box. That's an inference that you always want to make for average rate or weighted average questions. We know that 40% of this total is ryegrass. And those bottom two boxes, the product always equals the top. And we could do the same thing here. 25% of Y is ryegrass, and so the total ryegrass is 25 times Y. The other inference you always make for these top two boxes sum to equal this total. So that total is this. And now we can put in that last piece of information that the combined mixture is 30% ryegrass. Now we can just do this math. The bottom components here, the product of them always equals the top. So we can just do this arithmetic. Combine like terms. And we're looking for x, so let's do everything. Let's isolate x. And we're wondering what x is of the total, so we're wondering what this is. And we can just plug in either x for y or y for x. Either way, it doesn't really matter. Maybe it's easier to do it this way, that y equals 2x. So you just plug that in, and then you get this. And that same 1/3 that we got with the balance beam. Now you might be saying to yourself, that balance beam was a lot faster. It is. The balance beam is so much faster for these kinds of questions, given that you have those 3 pieces of key information. Let us know if you have any questions on this one, on the rate tees, on the balance beam. We'd love to hear about your experiences with the online whiteboard. Good luck on your GMAT. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.